Hi everyone, it's LJ from Wildcat Fitness here, and I just thought that I would actually record a video on something that I have been getting loads of questions about recently, primarily from members of my classes, but it's also something that I've been focusing on quite a bit with my clients, and it is lunges. So it's an exercise that I know a lot of people love to hate. It is one of the most effective lower body and particularly glute exercises that you can do, and when you get it correct, it's hugely effective, and there are loads of variations that we can add on to really train and improve fitness in the lower body. However, it is an exercise that is very often performed incorrectly, and often this is because people don't know how to lunge correctly. So I obviously cannot get round to seeing all of you guys either in a class or in a personal training session, so I thought I would just record a short video on my kind of tips and tricks and hacks, if you like, to trying to get a really good lunge. So this is our basic lunge position. Let me show you. As I said, it's primarily a glute, so a bum exercise, some front and back thigh work as well, bit of core work, because obviously we're splitting the legs, so you've got some coordination going on there. But primarily this is our basic lunge. So it's always the front leg, the leg that's standing in front, that you're working. You've got your body nice and tall, and it's a straight down, straight up movement, 90 degrees in the front and back leg. So the thing that I get asked most commonly, or I have been asked most commonly over the past couple of weeks, is why does it hurt so much in the back leg? That's something that I think people do struggle with quite a lot. So what I generally say is, it should not hurt in the back leg. It's the front leg, as I said initially, that we should be feeling it in, and it is that straight down, straight up movement. So what tends to happen, especially when the front leg gets fatigued, is that it starts becoming slightly more of a forward and back motion, and obviously as soon as you're coming back, you're putting weight in that back leg, so what you're doing is forcing it back into the calf, which is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, not only taking the focus away from the front glute, which is what we're trying to work, but also building up both the lactic acid and the muscle fatigue in that back leg, which shouldn't really be doing any of the work at all. So first thing first with the lunge is make sure that it is a straight up and straight down movement, and when you're pushing yourself up, that you are pushing up from the front heel and not the toes. And as I say, you're not rocking backwards and forwards. It's not a momentum exercise, it's a control exercise. So you can probably see, as I'm showing you side on, as I drop down the middle of my lunge, my body stays nice and tall. So I'm upright, I've got my chest lifted, I've got my belly tight. So you almost want to imagine you're like a carousel, a merry-go-round horse, and you've got this pole through the centre of your body. I'm just going to drop to the floor so you can see. Literally, you want that straight line. So you want the top of your head, your shoulder, your hip and your knee in one straight line. That way the front leg can stay at 90 degrees as well, and you can push yourself up using that front heel, so activating through the glute. So you want that nice upright position with this nice and tight. As I said, you'll get the benefit of some core work then as well. You can probably see that my feet are quite a long way apart. The other thing that you want to do is make sure that you've got length and indeed some width in your stride. So if your stride is quite narrow and your feet are quite close together, do you see how it's impossible to get that 90-degree angle that I've just said that we need for a really good lunge? So if you're shallow and you're narrow and you're lunging like this, see how that front knee is shooting over, but also I've got a lot of my body weight there in my back leg, so we're never able to kind of fully work that front one. So my next bit of advice would be to go longer and to go wider. So it could be that you're long, but if you're too narrow, again, you're really compromising that centre of gravity, which is where some of that wobbling can come in. So make sure your feet are about hip width apart. Obviously, everybody is slightly different. Everyone's got a slightly different centre of gravity, but you definitely do need a little bit of distance so that you can just drive straight down and straight up. I don't recommend lunging with any weight until you've got this basic body weight movement right, making sure that you're feeling it in that front glute. So my basic tips in summary to getting it right before you start adding any weight on is 90 degree setup, 90 degrees in the front and back leg, making sure that front knee does not come over the ankle and definitely not over the toes. Keeping your body nice and upright, so spine tall, belly tight, dropping straight down, straight in the middle of that lunge. Thirdly, making sure you are long and you are wide, and fourthly, making sure you're not rocking forward and back, so that back heel is never going to come and touch the floor. You've always got a slight lift, because that back leg is basically there to support you. It's not there to put any weight on. I'm not advising that you do, but in theory, you should be able to ever so slightly lift your back foot at the bottom of a lunge and it not to completely cause you to collapse. Obviously, if you've got loads of weight in the back leg and you were to lift, you wouldn't be able to sustain it. So you should feel like you could just lift it even a centimetre just for a split second and keep that focus into the front leg. So those are my tips for trying to help you perfect your lunge technique. As I say, I would work on those until you very much feel that it is working into your front leg before you think about adding any kind of weight or variation or plyometric work into that. Once you're getting that burn into the front leg, once you're activating those glutes, then you can start to add on. If you've got any questions about this, then do leave some comments or do contact me on social media. And indeed, if this has been useful and you'd like me to do videos like this for any other moves that you might be struggling with, then again, leave a comment or drop me an email and I'd be happy to do so. Happy lunging, everyone!